Hey guys, it's my first video. I want to make a quick video about my feelings about Final Fantasy 15. I got this game first day, so it's been about a month or so, or more or less. And I want to tell you about what I thought about this game. For someone who's been waiting for about 10 years, I was 16 when they announced the game at E3, I guess. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I liked about it and what I didn't like. As for what I liked, I really one of the biggest things about this game that I really enjoyed was the combat. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. I played the demo, the Platinum demo, when it came out. That convention or meeting they had, where they announced a whole like expanded universe, like the movie, the anime, and the music and stuff. So when I played that demo, I wasn't really feeling it. The combat was really kind of wonky. I didn't really understand how it would work. They kind of just threw you in there and had you kind of experience a battle with the giants they had there. So I wasn't really feeling it. So when I had to wait a little bit and kind of read about it, was the combat better? And people were saying it was. So I kind of jumped in and just bought it day one. But I was really surprised. They really worked on it. It feels a lot faster, a lot smoother. It's a lot more chaotic, with having so many enemies, and then you have your four brothers, or I mean three of brothers, alongside you, and they're all helping you out. So it gets kind of chaotic. The camera needs a lot of work. It gets pretty annoying when you're in caves and dungeons, or even like chapter 13 where you're trying to see where to hide. It was really annoying. But apart from that, if you're in the open world section, it's pretty nice. I also like that your brothers will help you in the battle itself. So sometimes you hit somebody on their blind side or whatever, you'll have Gladiolus or Prompto come in and do a cool little combo with you, which I think is really cool. It's just hard to see sometimes if you have multiple enemies that in the screen. But I really liked it. I liked that you can warp around. The fact that your MP depletes over time and you have to kind of warp somewhere else. You use an item to get yourself some more. That was pretty cool. Evading with a square looks pretty sick. And then you do little combos when you have to parry somebody. And I like that as well. I like the boss battles as well. They're really epic. Some of them. My favorite one so far from the game was the Aranea fight. I really liked that fight. I was actually smiling the whole time I was playing it, because you have obviously Aranea, and she's jumping in the air and then crashing onto your friends and you. You have all these little soldiers running around, keeping you busy, trying to get you as well. I really like that. And then the best part is, if you think about it, you can actually warp to where she is. And if she's in the air, you go up there and you have this little fight with her midair, and then she's trying to run away. So you're chasing after her the whole time. And I was like, sweet Jesus, it's like Dragon Ball Z or something. It was amazing. I love that part of this whole fight. And then you just, at the very end, you just grab her and you throw her on the floor. And she was awesome. She was cool. She was pretty sexy, and I love that fight. And I wish every fight was like that in some way. Probably my least favorite fight was the final boss. Spoilers. It's Arden. I wish it was a lot more epic. I guess it was very. I guess very personal. It's just a one-on-one with him. I like the first part where you're fighting with him, and he has the same powers as you, which is I didn't really. I don't know. I thought it was going to be more. He's immortal, and he probably has a ton of crazy powers, but I was expecting a little bit more out of him. The second part was just him flying around and you're just button smashing at that point. I didn't really like that at all. I wish, like I said, I wish it was more epic. I wish there was more to it. I guess the third part is just pressing zero over and over until you kill him. So I wish it was better. The first two fights, like Ifrit and the Behemoth's King, they were a lot harder than Arden, in my opinion. But I wish they would work more on the bosses. A lot of them were just not common enemies, but they were big monsters. I like the regular human-sized boss. They were a lot more difficult in my opinion, like Ravis, Aranea. Um, they were a lot more harder than they were with like the big monsters that you just kind of, I don't know. It was interesting. The characters, as for the characters, I love the four brothers. I like that concept. It's brotherhood. It's really personal. You get to see these guys, in their worst of times and the best of times. I really like that. I love Prompto. He's funny. I like their little interactions with all of them. It was just fun to watch these guys just be friends throughout the game. I really like that. I like some of the extra characters, like the side characters. I like Aranea. Again, she's probably my favorite of the whole game. Um, Iris, amazing. She's awesome. I wish she was the princess, the main character, the main heroine, but we can't have everything we want. And for Luna, I didn't really care for her. She was barely in the game, and they really tried to push that she was super in love with Noctis, and then Noctis in love with her. But I didn't feel it. I mean, I find it kind of hard to believe that someone's gonna be in love with you 12 years later. When you're like in your 20s. I just think it's hard to believe. I didn't feel it. She was never part of your team. She was never. Basically, she was never in the same scene with Noctis, and that was really hard for me to justify them being in love. I wish it would have been somebody else. When she passed away, I didn't feel anything for her. I was like, okay, they made it kind of dramatic, but I just didn't really care. I mean, I don't know. But Arden was really good. He was cool. He was suave. You kind of knew he was kind of sneaky looking guy. The way he talked, the way he presented himself was really cool. I really liked him. I wish he had a more backstory. You kind of got his backstory at kind of the end of the game, which is okay, But I wish they would have worked with him a lot more. He was like Luna, barely there. Out of nowhere, he's a villain. So I wish they would have worked with him more. Other things I liked, I guess I liked the open world to some extent. I mean, the freedom of going anywhere was pretty nice. There's a bunch of monsters running around, and you can do whatever you want. Secret dungeons were cool as well. And then the free DLC that the phone, the not the phone, I'm sorry, the game is getting is pretty cool. They're giving you extra stuff post game. We don't really know when, but they've said like it's gonna be multiplayer, more scenes with some of the other characters, giving Ravis a clear motivation or backstory, or more Ravis, I guess, because we don't really know what happened to him. He kind of came off as a villain at first, but in the end, he's your friend. But we don't know why, or why was he being a dick to you in the first place. I don't know, but they're gonna give us more of that, which is cool. And then recently they gave us the Mugo Chocobo like carnival. I didn't really care for it. It's just a bunch of mini games. I guess they're just trying to give us something to be happy with. I mean, a lot of people like it. I personally don't really care for it. I got the passport thing, but again, I don't really care for it. As for the cons, so the cons for me, the main one is the story. The story is butchered. It's bare bones. It's kind of barely there. A lot of it's really vague. The game starts at like a road trip between the brothers. They're trying to go to meet up with Luna and get married. So it's really bare bones. It's more it's mostly about the brothers, I guess. It's just really personal with them. They're going through some shit. They got to figure some stuff out. But it's not really there, like I said. I mean, Ravis, we don't know what the hell he's doing half the time. I don't know what the hell Luna's doing half the time. I know she's trying to help me, but I don't really see it, I guess. I don't see her, basically. The romance between Luna and Noctis is not really there. Iris, I love Iris. I wish she was more in it. Aranea, same thing. For Core, it's funny because he was supposed to be part of the brothers from trailers and stuff they give us, and for Versus 13 and after Versus 13. He barely shows up in the game. I would have loved to see more of him. He was epic. He was badass. I mean, He's supposed to be a really, really strong soldier of for Noctis' side, I guess. But we barely saw most of them, and that's really sad. Also, we also have, I guess, another one that I really didn't like is I compare this game a lot to Versus 13 from what they show us, what in the past 10 years of waiting. When they announced that Versus 13 was going to be 15, they gave us a really epic trailer with all this stuff. It was gorgeous. The Hydra fight was amazing in that trailer. I was expecting that same level of quality in 15. I was expecting a boss battle with mini battles in between. Well, while the boss battle is going on, I guess you're inside buildings, you're flying around. There's airships in the air, and I'm killing some fools right now. And it just looked epic. Hydra's trying to get you as well while you're fighting the Empire, and it's just crazy. It's crazy. We didn't really see any of that in the Hydra fight. I mean, you warp to small sections of the town that's being destroyed, and then you go full, like, I guess, Super Saiyan, and then you just fly around and cut his fins off, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I was really disappointed. It didn't really look really good. I was expecting a lot more from that. I wish it would have kind of came out and say, you know what? I'm sure they actually did. They came out and said the story was going to be really simplistic versus 13. But I wish they would have said, you know what? We had to change some of the stuff. The engine wasn't really running really well on the consoles. We didn't really have that much time because we needed to get this game out before 2017. Well, at the end of 2016. And I wish it would have come up and said that, because I'm not the developer. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know why they're cutting stuff out. I know it's normal for people to cut, developers, whatever, to cut stuff out from the main game before they release it for whatever reason. But I'm not a developer. I have the trailers and whatever you give me to base the game on. So when they released the Omen trailer, I was like, man, this is badass. Noctis killing Luna at the end. I guess the dog he was following, who's a white dog, turns into this Anubis-looking dude, and evil as fuck. I'm getting this vibe like Noctis is gonna be evil. I'm like, wait, what? This is pretty cool, He's surrounded by fire and like a bunch of other bigger, like Cerberus-looking dudes, and I'm like, my God, this is epic. I was like, what? This is part of the game, or they didn't really say it, but it was. I guess it was based on Final Fantasy 15, but I was like, if it's based on it, there's some truth to it, right? But I was really disappointed. Nothing from that was in there. They had a little big portion of the trailer in the game, but it was a dream. I'm like, what? But I was really disappointed in that. I mean, like I said, the only trailer that kind of showed you what 15 was going to be like was the one from E3 last year, where it showed like it was where they gave you the song from Afrojack, Braver. That was basically 15, the actual trailer. Everything before that was just not basically versus 13. I mean, nothing from it was in there. And I know you guys heard the leaks, the rumors about versus 13, and I wish we got that game. I wish it would have said, you know what, let's take a couple more years. We have to get the game right. But I know Square Enix wanted this game out before 2017, so they didn't really have a choice. But the story for Versus 13 sounds so much better, sounds more epic, really dark. I really like it, but we may not see it. I'm hoping one day they release it as some kind of like alternate version for 15, or maybe Versus 15. I don't know, but it just sounds amazing, and I wish we got that game instead. But as a standalone game, 15 was pretty. It was okay. I wouldn't say it's the best game of 2016, but it was okay. I personally, if I would have known this game had, before I bought it, day one, I probably would have waited, a couple of weeks after, maybe if it went on sale or something. But I bought it day one, paid the full $60 for it. But it's what it is, But I'm sure a lot of people like it. I'm sure a lot of people are saying it's the best game ever. I personally don't think it is. I'm probably getting more hesitant to buy from Square Enix, since they kind of not burned me, but they kind of gave me a different game from what I was looking forward to, I guess. But like I said, it has its pros, it has its cons. I think the pros kind of outweigh the cons a little bit, but just a little bit. I'm gonna wait till the DLC comes out and then see how that is. If it makes the game better, then I would definitely say go buy it out. But at this point, you're better off just waiting until the DLC comes out and see how it is. Do they add more portions of the game? Do they make it more playable? Is there more story to it? And then we'll see if it was actually worth it's worth buying it at that time. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'll see if I make a couple more videos about games that I play and see how they stack up after a month or so of being out. But if you guys like this video, give me a like, give me a couple of views, give me a subscribe, and I'll keep making more. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.